Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, what I would like to do is I would really like to talk about what a custom GPT is and what is a ChatGPT project. Now, these are two features within ChatGPT that I feel are so powerful and have developed and evolved so quickly here in the last couple of months. And so I think it's really important for us to dive into both custom GPTs and GPT projects. So if you hear me saying GPT, I'm most likely always talking about custom GPTs, but you may also hear me say GPT project. And in that case, I am talking about ChatGPT projects. So like I said, these are two features within ChatGPT, and you'll need to be in one of the paying tiers. So this is not necessarily something that works as well, or you have all of the features if you are in the free version. So know that when I am walking through these things and talking about them, these are all functionalities and features of being on a paid plan of ChatGPT. Now, I have found myself more and more starting to work with ChatGPT projects versus my custom GPTs. My custom GPTs definitely have a time and a place and a specific purpose. But like I said, in my business side, my business development side, I am finding myself using ChatGPT projects more and more. And so that's why I want to take this time to really dive into both of these. That way you understand what they both can do, what they both can't do, and really understand what might work best for your unique situation. Hey course creators, learn how to build your own custom GPT without the tech overwhelm. Please subscribe and join my Skool community to learn step by step. The link is below. Okay, so let's first talk about how these two features are similar and some of the same functionalities that both have. Now, both can be shared, and this is a very new thing for ChatGPT projects. It wasn't just a couple weeks ago that you were not able to share your projects out. They were just simply an internal feature that you could use and come back to. And that was a really defining point between GPT projects and custom GPTs. Custom GPTs, you can very easily share them out, and they can very easily be external facing custom GPTs. So that was a big dividing factor between the two. But like I said, within the last couple weeks even, there has been an update to ChatGPT projects that does allow you to share out your projects. Now, because of the newness of this feature, I have not completely finished testing all of the ins and outs of what it means to share a project and how it functions and how it works and all of that. So that will be some more content coming a little bit later. But I do want you to know that right now, both custom GPTs and GPT projects are able to be shared. Another thing they both can do is that you can set what model you want to use when you are interacting with a ChatGPT project or a custom GPT. So that's a great feature that they both share. Another feature that they share is that you can upload knowledge to them. So one of the first videos in this course, we talked about knowledge, extra knowledge that you can provide your custom GPT. So it has a unique understanding and it has been trained specifically on your content and your resources. So that's something that both projects and custom GPTs are able to do. You are able to give it additional knowledge to pull from and work from. Along those same lines, you can give both custom GPT and a GPT project custom instructions, right? So you can give them very specific instructions on what exactly you want that either project or that GPT to do. However, there is a difference here, and I'll dive into that in just a minute, on the complexity of instructions that you can provide in a project versus a custom GPT. So that is something to kind of keep in mind, and we'll dive into here in just a minute. To quickly summarize the similarities between a custom GPT and a GPT project is these are both two tools, two workspaces that you can customize to do more specifically what you are needing it to do. So 2 different spaces, 2 different features that is customizable to your preferences. While they do have some similarities, they do have a few very different differences. And so I'd like to dive into what makes a custom GPT different and unique. So again, custom GPTs are extremely easy to share out. So they are easy to use internally for yourself. They're easy to share within your team, and they're extremely easy to share out into the public. So that's one of the things that has allowed custom GPTs to really stand out for a very long time, is that ability to be shared. It also means that any users do have access to these GPTs. So you may create a custom GPT and share it out, and someone who is not a paying member of ChatGPT could still use and access your custom GPT. Now, you do have to be on the play plan to create custom GPTs, but to use them, you don't have to be. Okay, so a few more features about custom GPTs. Custom GPTs do allow you to upload different files into its knowledge, and right now you can upload about 20 files to its knowledge. And that, for me at least, has been plenty. That's given me enough room, enough space to upload everything I need into a custom GPT. You can also switch between different models within the custom GPT, so that's a great feature as well. Now, one of the things that is really important to me, at least when I am helping someone get started in creating custom GPTs, is that when you go in to create a custom GPT, you have the ability to either jump right in and enter in all the information and the instructions and the knowledge that you know this GPT will need, or you have the ability to kind of walk through a very user-friendly interface that prompts you through creating a ChatGPT. And so it makes it really easy for anybody of all the different ability levels, from very beginner to expert. They can jump right in and either be guided through the process or just give it the information and the instructions that you want it to have. So I think it's really important to point out that custom GPTs, when you are going through the creation process, does offer that user interface that prompts you through the creation process if you so choose to use it. And that's not the case with projects. Projects does not have that guided step-by-step process that custom GPTs, that interface has. Okay, so one limitation of creating a custom GPT is that it does not have the ability to do things like deep research or the agent mode. So you'll notice that when you open up a ChatGPT window, and in that little chat box, there's the plus arrow. If you click on it, there's a whole bunch of extra options that are available. When you create a custom GPT, those extra options are not available, like deep research. However, they are available in ChatGPT Projects. So kind of keep that one in mind. Okay, and one more thing about custom GPTs that I really want to point out, and this isn't necessarily a positive or a negative, depending on how you are looking at it and what you're using your custom GPT for, but custom GPTs do not, at least right now at the time of this recording, they don't have memory. So what that means is when I open up a custom GPT, so for example, I'll give you an example here. I have a custom GPT that helps me review online courses for just the quality of the course, right? And so that custom GPT, when I am doing course review, I use that custom GPT to complete the course review. And in that situation, I don't need that custom GPT to have any memory, because when I'm done with that one review, I will close it and put it away, and I'll start a brand new review. And I don't want that second window, right? That second custom GPT I'm working with, I don't want it to remember anything from the course before. I want it to start from scratch, clean slate, just help me through the course review process for this specific course. So custom GPTs not having memory just means that they are not able to reference other chats made by that custom GPT. So like I said, there's certain situations where you don't want your custom GPTs to remember a chat you've had before in another window. You want it to be focused in on a new task, a fresh task, and not letting any of that other conversations clutter its inputs and outputs. And that's just an example of how I use a custom GPT and when I don't want it to have memory. When you say have a frequently asked questions ChatGPT that is outward facing, right? Anyone who comes to that GPT will have unique to them questions. So as they're interacting with that custom GPT, they are needing answers that are unique to them. Now, if a second person came in and started using that chat or that GPT, you wouldn't want that second person's answers to be influenced by the questions I asked. So you can kind of see where having that separation and not having that memory mingling in and interweaving can be a really positive thing. However, there are other situations where if it did have memory, it would save me so much time because I'm working on a project that is building over time. And that's really where ChatGPT Projects comes in. So ChatGPT Projects, just like I mentioned, one of the things that really sets it apart is its memory. So ChatGPT Projects, when it first initially rolled out, I viewed it as a way to organize my conversations I have with my custom GPTs. Because I'd go off and I'd have a conversation with my custom GPT and it would fall in line with all my other conversations. And I'd want to pull them out and put them somewhere where I knew I could go back and reference them. So I use projects just as a folder to organize. So I go to that chat with my custom GPT after I've had it and I'll click the three little dots and say, hey, move this to a certain folder or certain project folder, and it would. And so at first, that's how I was using projects, strictly as a way to help me organize my conversations. However, projects has really taken off and it's really developed and kind of come into its own. And I've been using ChatGPT Projects a ton here lately. And so not only can you use it as an organization system, which if you are, that's totally fine, but know that GPT Projects can do so much more than just be an organization system. Projects are amazing when you need that workspace that provides the continuity between your conversations. So if you have a project and it is a project that is going to span a decent amount of time or go through different phases of its development, and you want to start conversations in a space where those conversations can grow and develop and evolve over time, Projects is a great place for you to start working in. So projects, you can also upload knowledge or files to a project. And this is actually slightly more than a custom GPT. So you can upload, at the time of this recording, 25 files to ChatGPT Projects, where you can only upload 20 files to a custom GPT. You can also set instructions for your project. However, I have found that I can't quite get my instructions nailed down perfectly for projects just yet. Whereas in the custom GPTs, I've been working there longer, and so I know how to write those instructions and what the GPT needs to give me the outputs that I'm looking for. I actually find myself, because this is a space that I can talk to it and work through different aspects of a project and it grows over time, that the project itself starts to recognize what I'm wanting to do and kind of self-creates its own instructions without having to manually put them in. I'm definitely not saying that's the way to do it, but that's what I'm finding with ChatGPT Projects is I start there and I just kind of let it grow and evolve as we go. That being said, like I mentioned for custom GPTs, there's a user interface that prompts you through the creation process. There is not that for GPT projects. When you start a brand new ChatGPT project, there is a settings window. You give it a name, you can give it an icon, and then there are some settings that you set for that specific project. And that's it. Whereas when you're creating a custom GPT, like I said, if you're brand new at it, there's actually like a user interface there that walks you through the process and helps make that custom GPT come to life. One thing that's super neat about the ChatGPT projects is that you can set the settings to reference all of the conversations within that project only, or you can also set it where it references all of the conversations within that project, but it also pulls information from your external chats as well. And so like the memory you're building out in your regular chat. So there is a setting in ChatGPT projects where you set that. Once you set that, that's it though. You can't go back and change that setting. So it's important to know what that setting is and what exactly you are wanting this project to do. I find this very helpful when I have multiple clients I'm working with and I have multiple projects going on. I will set it to only read and pull memory from the chats within that specific project because I don't want clients A project pulling information from clients B's project into my chats. So I want those things to live separate and in their own little silos. So that's where that setting kind of comes into a really helpful. Another thing great about ChatGPT projects is that it does give the ability to use deep research and the agent mode. And so there is a little bit more capability there when you are working within that chat context window that custom GPTs don't always offer. Now, again, ChatGPT projects just released the ability for these to be shared. And I'm still very much in the trial and test out phase of what it means to share a ChatGPT projects. But I can see this definitely being a huge game changer when it comes to working, especially within a team on a specific project. I still have some more testing to do on this new release on how it looks when you share a ChatGPT project out more externally than just like your little team. Okay, so a quick example, I've given you a couple already, but one a little bit more specific of how I have been using ChatGPT projects is I have been developing this Skool community. And so I have a ChatGPT project for this Skool community. And so every time I need to do something for this community, I jump into this project. And it's been a real game changer because it started with me from day 0 all the way up until now. And we've worked on things and created things and built things and we've brainstormed things and gone in a certain direction and then abandoned that and went in a different direction. So it's definitely has been a huge help. And like I said, it's one that I find myself using more and more every single day because of what it is capable of doing. Okay, so let's wrap it all up here. We talked about custom GPTs and GPT projects, and both of these features have a lot of similarities in the sense of they can be shared, you can upload knowledge, you can set instructions for it to think and behave and respond in specific ways, and they're hugely customizable to what you are needing them to do. However, they do come with some differences that help them stand out and allows you to really kind of stop and think about which feature is going to serve you best. So if memory is not a big deal and you want a custom GPT that you can jump in and get a task done in no time that doesn't need to reference any of your previous conversations, a custom GPT is outstanding for that. However, if you have a project that you want to work on and build up over time and you need that space and that memory, then ChatGPT Projects is where you'll want to start out. I would highly encourage you to start playing around with ChatGPT Projects for more than just an organizational feature. Really dive into it and see what it can do and start working in projects. It's made a huge difference in how I segment out my tasks and my client work and all of that great stuff. Okay, so I think you've got a ton of information to really understand what a custom GPT is, or in this case, a custom GPT and a GPT project. At this point, the best thing you can do is dive into both and start playing and experimenting with them. I've also got the courses lined up after this course that will give you a more in-depth look into both internal and external chat GPTs, and also provide step-by-step instruction and support all the way through creating your first GPT. Thank you so much. And if you have any questions at any time, please put them in the discussion board on the main page or stick them in the questions discussion right below this video. Thanks, and I look forward to seeing you in the other courses. Hey, thanks so much for sticking around and watching this video. I hope that you found the information in this video to be helpful. If you would like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me out so much. Also, please jump over to Skool and join our Chatbots for Course Creators community. Excited to see you there.